is now official. For the first time since 2020, the Houston Rockets are playoff bound as they win their 50th game of the season in blowout fashion over the Utah Jazz, 143 to 105. They have clinched a top 6 playoff seed. Another box has been checked. There are still more to come.
What a day. What a moment. Today is the greatest day of our lives because once again, the city of Houston stood up with 2 middle birds extended towards the entirety of the United States with a decree, a declaration. This city runs all divisions. That's right. Hey, Bill O'Brien, what do you make of that? Does it matter?
Doesn't matter, Brian. But AFC South champions 2 years in a row, Brian.
That's right.
You guys are back in the.
Doesn't matter what it looked like. Back in the playoffs. Looking forward to the playoffs.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. But the Rockets, with 50 wins, have clinched a top 6 seed in the playoffs. They're officially in. For the first time in 5 years, they're able to do both last night. Unbelievable. In a city that knows how to win divisions, the Rockets are the latest. Is this title town? Sort of. It's division title town. And people think I'm probably being sarcastic right now. I'm not. The Houston Rockets, in winning the Southwest Division, which I think does deserve a banner, have done something that most Houston sports teams have done over the last few years. The Houston Texans have won 8 AFC South titles since 2011. The Houston Astros have won 7 American League West titles since 2017. Your Houston Rockets have now won 5 division titles since 2015. And get this, forgotten along the way, your Houston Cougars have been regular season conference champions 6 times since 2019. 2019, 2020, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. And, of course, they've won a couple of conference tournaments along the way. 3, this is a city that, whether it's a division or a conference, you know who's in charge. Strap that belt buckle up. Because what do we say about Houston, Rudy Tomjanovich?
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
That's right. So what do you make of that? The Houston Rockets, division champs in the top 6 seed for the first time in 5 years. Today is the greatest day of all of our lives because Houston stays winning division titles. 143-105. They took down the Jazz last night. The Jazz are terrible. I took a look at their lineup, and while I know that several of these players are not white, and while I do not see color, a Utah Jazz team starting guys named Kyle, Bryce, Walker, Colin, and Isaiah could not possibly sound whiter. This is the Utah fever dream. This is what the Mormos wanted back in the 1800s. You watched American Primeval. This is what they were looking for. Now, again, Bryce Sensabaugh, not white. Colin Sexton, not white. Isaiah Collier, not white?
No.
Thank you, Sean. Again, I don't see color, so sometimes it's hard. So that's the team that the Rockets beat last night, 143-105. And I am curious to see how they're going to handle the next couple of games, specifically because Fred VanVleet's dealing with both knee and ankle soreness at the same time. And, I mean, you didn't need him last night because that team, garbage. But do you sit him for the rest of the regular season when you've got 5 games left against 5 good teams? I hate the idea of resting players, but you got the Thunder Friday. You got the Lakers, Nuggets, and Warriors, potential second-round matchups. And then you have the Clippers as well. You got all of these games to wrap up the season. How do you handle it? I think you got to sit everybody. Or at the very least, you're sitting a lot of players.
Everybody.
Well, Sean, I think you got to rest them. And I know Ime Udoka wants these guys to be giving it their all. But you know what? You've now approached a point where you just need one win. That's the magic number to at least be the 4 seed in the Western Conference. One win in these last 5 games.
Or any of these teams to lose, really.
That's true as well.
Or not any of them, but a couple.
Exactly. So all you need is 1. That's the magic number for the Rockets to have a home playoff series to open up the playoffs. That's what you're looking for optimally. You can't get the 1 seed. The Thunder won that a while ago. So these next couple of games, how do you handle it, especially with the banged up Fred VanVleet? I am giving limited minutes to a lot of my main players, and I guess this is going to be the Reed Shepherd show.
Yeah. I think Fred VanVleet. I'm good if he doesn't play another regular season game for you, just because he is actually dealing with something that he probably could play through, but there's no point in actually doing it. So that shutdown isn't like, I don't know. I think that's a reasonable thing to do for one of your more veteran players to be shut down because he's dealing with an injury.
Mm-hmm.
Even then, I probably would like, can we see him play one game? Because you do get a week off, more or less, if you're not in the play-in.
Because of the play-in tournament.
Yeah, so you get, I don't know if it's an actual week or if it's 6 days or so, whatever it is, but you do get some time off. I'm okay if he only plays like one of these games. If you want to have one like chips in, let's try to win this one, whether it's strategic for seeding or trying to get a matchup that you want. If you can push down, the Warriors into the 5 or the 4 instead of the 3 or something like that.
I get that.
But for the most part, I think you just got to kind of be smart. Obviously, you can limit minutes. There's no reason for these guys to be playing like 40, 38 minutes. But I think for the most part, I think you got to keep these guys out there just because, like, A, you can't sit everybody. But B, I don't know if this is a team that really needs to coast to the finish line.
But we've seen this team weirdly be gassed in games. And I get what you're saying. Hey, that's sort of against what Ime Udoka wants if you're coasting down the stretch.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
playing a bunch of playoff teams too.
There's been several games this year, though, where they have looked tired at the end. And I think at this point, any little bit of extra rest you can get would be great.
But they don't have a back-to-back for the rest of the season.
I understand that. We have seen this team look tired when they didn't have back-to-back.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, what you're saying is reasonable.
I don't like what I'm saying, by the way. I want everyone to know that. I hate the idea of resting players and giving guys less minutes and putting out a crap product.
And these guys are 22 years old.
That too. But weirdly, they've been tired at the end of games.
Yeah. No, I think it could be a minutes thing, not a games thing.
Okay.
I think you can rest them in game. Where against the Lakers, they played 8 guys. They went 8 deep against the Lakers. They only brought 3 guys off the bench against the Lakers. Against the Jazz last night.
Tournament kind of lineup, right?
Know,
Where you're only playing 8 guys the whole game.
Yeah, that's what like Florida does.
Yeah.
But against the Jazz, I mean, Nate Williams played 5, Reed played 9,
15 and 9.
Jeff Green played 7.
The 3 white people from Utah who watched Rockets Jazz last night. I mean, they saw Reed Shepherd too.
Yeah,
must have been a proud moment.
They're like, man, I really like this guy.
Oh, man,
I know he's a Rocket. I'm supposed to hate him, but there's something about Reed Shepherd.
Let's trade our lottery pick right now for Reed Shepherd.
I want my son to play like Reed Shepherd. But they went a little bit deeper with the lineup. Obviously, they won by 40, so it's a little different. But I think if they do that, I think I'm fine with that. And part of sitting Fred VanVleet is that you're going to get more Reed Shepherd minutes, which is something hard to come by.
More Reed Shepherd, more Aaron Holiday. Let's go. More Jock Landale, everyone's favorite Australian. He's Australian, right? Yeah, he's Australian.
He's Australian.
Hell yeah. Jayshawn Tate, part of the core Rockets teams of the Steven Silas era.
I mean, honestly, they should stop a game at halftime or something to honor him for being here through all the dark years.
That's true.
I think he was on the team that James Harden quit on.
I think so too.
Man.
Jeff Green. More Jeff Green minutes.
He was on the team before James Harden quit, but he then left and came back.
On a serious note with this Rockets run, what Ime Udoka has done in 2 years, incredible. Ime deserves the most credit. But as someone who was crushing Rafael Stone just 2 years ago, mainly due to that awful article that was written about his obsession with Kevin Porter Jr., turning him into the next James Harden, and then looking at the lack of pelts on the wall and the lack of really credibility he had as a general manager, being someone who was in the front office, who I think was hallway neighbors with Daryl Morey and took on more of a personnel role. Stone has done a very good job with Udoka, so I got to give him some credit. And honestly, what this Rockets team has done, even though there are clearly some things they can get significantly better at under Udoka, it's been awesome. So congratulations to the Houston Rockets. Congratulations to all Houston Rockets fans. This is a very likable team that I think is still trending in the right direction. And what a year, 50 wins and a division title.